As for those haters that was talking crap about the WTA finals being held here in Texas, we have a large tennis community here in Texas. I'm based in Houston, Texas, the city where I lived in my whole entire life. And I'm a tennis content creator, so there is an audience here in Texas for you Europeans that was hating on the finals being held here in Texas, saying, why did they have the finals in Texas? It's in the middle of nowhere. They don't have any tennis fans in Texas. Fort Worth is right outside the city of Dallas, and Fort Worth is a part of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, with about a little bit over 6 million people between the two cities. So Fort Worth is not the middle of nowhere. And there is a tennis fan base here in Texas, especially here in Houston, the fourth largest city in the United States. And those Europeans was complaining about the time zone, saying the finals being held in America is alienating their European audience. When the finals was held over there in China, that was alienating their entire American audience. That's the reason I haven't watched the WTA final in like 5 years. I'm not going to wake up at 3 a.m. to watch a final, especially if none of my favorites are playing in that final. But it's the bitter, hating ass, broke ass Europeans that could not afford to fly their asses out to Texas to go to the WTA finals. So they rather sit their asses on the internet all day complaining about the seats being empty, but yet they had $30 tickets and they couldn't even afford to book a flight to fly to the finals to fill those empty seats. And them same Europeans were mad that the tournament was not held in Europe or wherever they live, saying if the WTA finals was held in such and such European city, the tickets would be sold out. Well, with me being from Texas and knowing WTA's history, first thing I thought of when the WTA finals was being held here in Texas, I came to the obvious conclusion that WTA is going to celebrate 50 years next year, and WTA wanted to have their end of the year tournament in Texas within their origins. They even ran a whole article on the WTA website explaining this. Like, WTA was receiving so much hate from these dumbass Europeans about their finals being held in Texas and the stadium being empty. So on November the 2nd, WTA had to put out an article explaining their origins. Because WTA have their origins here in Texas, Texas is where WTA established their first tournament. And especially those Europeans that was talking crap, talking hot trash about the WTA finals being held here in Texas. You clearly don't know your WTA women's tennis history, and so the WTA had to remind your stupid asses that was giving them so much flack. Cause I did not see none of those Europeans taking WTA's origins into consideration. Well, the WTA did play their first tournament here in Texas, so that's probably why WTA wanted to have their tournament in Texas. I did not read no European saying that shit. And I remember last year I made a almost 30-minute video going off ranting on Steve Simon. It's like he listened to me and decided he wanted to have his finals here in Texas, which I'm very grateful for because I was able to go and experience my very first tennis tournament, and I'm very happy about that. So the people that was complaining and talking crap about the finals being here in Texas, you Europeans that was talking crap about the WTA finals being here in Texas, complaining about how empty the arena was, even though there was people there. So other than that first day of the tournament, overall the tournament was a success, albeit WTA had to lower the ticket prices towards the end of the tournament to fill seats, but that's beside the point. But people did show up to this event for those who was upset the tournament was held here in Texas and wanted this tournament to fail. The way Europeans was going so hard slamming this tournament, they was acting like no one showed up to this tournament at all and it failed. That was the vibe that I was picking up from these Europeans. And it wasn't only Europeans that was complaining about the WTA finals being here in Texas, it was those Australians too. If I was Australian, I would be mad and hurting too if the only top woman player I had to cheer for was Asla Trash Can Tomljanovic, a player that's not even from Australia. Oh well, the WTA wanted to have their finals here in Texas, so you Australians can go in your backyards and go play tennis with some dingoes and kangaroos and stay being mad. But at the end of the day, the tournament was a success, so you all can keep hating and being miserable if you want. Thank you, 2022 WTA Finals, Fort Worth.